There comes a moment in every man's life when he has no choice but to sit quietly with his own thoughts, alone. Surrounded by silence, wrestling with memories of what he once had and what slipped through his fingers. Have you ever noticed how people often fail to see the true value of something right in front of them? Comfort, ironically, can blind a man to the very treasure he should be holding close to his heart. It's in the absence, oh yes, the absence, where the real awakening begins. When a woman's warmth, her unwavering presence, suddenly disappears, that's when a man truly starts to notice. He had grown so used to the sound of her encouragement, the steady support she gave without fail, and the grace she showed even when he stumbled or fell short. But familiarity can be deceiving. It breeds complacency. When something is always there, always accessible, always pouring into him, he starts to believe it will never end. But what happens when one day, it just isn't there anymore? Absence becomes a relentless teacher. It delivers lessons that no gift or gesture ever could. It forces a man to pause and ask himself, where did that peace go? Why does everything feel so off? Suddenly, moments that once seemed ordinary replay in his mind like precious memories, her smile, the way she cared when words failed him, the silent support he took for granted. In the stillness of her absence, a man begins to realize how much she truly meant. Sometimes, he has to live life without her to finally understand what life with her really was. He needs to sit alone at a table where no one asks how his day was. He needs to scroll through his phone only to find no good morning texts. No check-ins. No gentle reminders that someone out there was thinking of him. That void, that silence, it speaks louder than any words ever could. But listen carefully. Absence does more than reveal feelings, it exposes priorities. Because when a man genuinely values you, when he sees your worth clearly, he doesn't just sit with that realization. He moves, he acts, he reaches out, he changes something deep inside himself to make sure he never feels that emptiness again. I know, some of you might be thinking, if he really cared, why did it take my absence for him to see it? And here's the honest truth. Some men don't recognize peace until they've lived in chaos. Some don't appreciate warmth until they're shivering in the cold. And some don't realize they were being watered until they start to wither. It's not that he didn't care. It's that he never knew how deeply, not until he was forced to feel the difference. But hear this clearly. Absence isn't a game. It's not a tactic or a test to manipulate someone's love. No, it's about honoring yourself enough to walk away when your presence is no longer valued. It's about saying, if you can't see what you have while I'm here, maybe you'll understand when I'm gone. A high-value woman doesn't beg to be noticed. She doesn't try to explain her worth to someone who overlooks her. She lets her absence speak for itself. And when she leaves, she doesn't slam the door in anger, she leaves it unlocked, giving that man the chance to come back, if he wakes up and realizes what he lost. But if he does come back, it won't be with empty words or hollow apologies. It will be with real actions. Changes that reflect the lessons absence taught him. If he doesn't return, if he stays silent in your silence, then understand this. Absence didn't just reveal what you meant to him, it revealed what you never did. So don't fear stepping back. Don't hesitate to reclaim your space, your energy, your presence, because the man who truly sees your worth won't let your absence be the last chapter. He will do whatever it takes to write a new one. Something powerful happens when a woman steps away. The atmosphere shifts. The routine breaks. At first, he may not notice, maybe even enjoy the freedom, thinking it's a relief from pressure. But time has a way of exposing the truth the heart refuses to see in the moment. Eventually, he'll confront a question he wasn't ready to face before. Was I really ready to lose her? A man processes emotions differently when life feels steady and love is consistent. He doesn't always stop to examine how much she actually means to him. He just lives day by day, assuming what he has now will still be there tomorrow. But when she pulls away, when her voice no longer fills his days, when her presence is no longer woven into his life, something stirs deep within. He realizes that what he thought was ordinary was actually extraordinary. Distance forces him to confront emotions he didn't even know were there. It makes him question why he feels so unsettled, why that hollow feeling is creeping in. He thought he could just keep going, but something feels off inside his soul. As days pass, as the silence grows heavier, he starts to understand, it wasn't just her presence that mattered. It was what her presence brought to him: peace, stability, comfort, things he never recognized as rare until they vanished. And here's the truth. Emotions can stay hidden in a man for a long time. He can feel deeply but never admit it until life leaves him no choice. When a woman is always there, always ready to give, he never has to face the reality of what she means. But when she steps away, when she removes that constant presence, he has no choice but to feel. And in that feeling, in that quiet, in that long, heavy absence, a man begins to truly understand the depth of what he had. But here's the real challenge. Absence doesn't just make a man feel, it forces him to decide. Picking up where we left off, let's dive deeper into what happens after absence reveals a man's feelings, and whether he chooses to act on them or not. There are men who will feel the loss deeply. They will sense the empty space where your presence once was. They will recognize the void left behind. Yet, feeling alone isn't always enough to make them move. It's not that they don't care. No, the truth is, they simply aren't ready to do what it truly takes to hold on to something valuable. This is where clarity steps in, that painful, undeniable clarity that separates those who merely feel from those who act. A man who is genuinely invested, one who truly sees you as irreplaceable, won't just sit with his emotions. He won't just long for you silently. He will take action. He will pick up the phone, step forward, and shift something within himself because he knows what he lost is worth fighting for. But be warned. Not every man reaches this point. Some will only miss you from afar. They'll feel your absence but won't pursue you. They won't do the work that real love requires. And here's a crucial truth you must hold on to. Missing you is not a strategy. Missing you is not effort. Missing you does not build a foundation for a future. If a man truly understands what he had, if your absence genuinely showed him your value, he won't just sit in longing. He will move with intention. Listen carefully. You don't owe anyone reminders about your worth. You don't have to convince a man to feel something or explain what your presence meant. If he truly values you, if he truly wants you, your absence will speak loud and clear for you. But if it doesn't, well, then you have your answer. Men will always respect what they fear losing. It's not the comfort of your constant presence that teaches them your value. It's the painful realization that you could walk away and actually do it. Many men don't appreciate consistency because they've never had to live without it. They take kindness for granted, assuming it will be there no matter how they act. They see love as an unlimited resource, something endlessly available regardless of how they treat it. But life teaches lessons that no words ever could. One of the hardest lessons a man will face is this. A woman who knows her worth will not stay where she is unappreciated. When something is always available, it's easy to overlook it. It's easy to assume it will always be there. A man might wake up every morning, knowing she will call, that she will check in, that she will care, never stopping to wonder what it would feel like if one day she didn't. When a woman gives endlessly and is always within reach, it creates the illusion that her love is unconditional. And while love itself may be limitless, access to it is not. Respect is born from boundaries. A man respects what he knows is not guaranteed. He respects what he has to show up for, what he must invest in, what he has to prove himself worthy of. But when he believes there are no consequences, when he thinks he can be absent and still be chosen, neglectful yet still loved, he doesn't change. He doesn't grow. There's no urgency, no accountability, no recognition that what he has is fragile and precious. That is why absence holds such power. When a woman steps back, removes herself from the equation, and stops being so easily accessible, a man is forced to face his own choices. He must ask himself, was I showing up the way I should have? Did I nurture what I had? Or did I just assume it would always be there? This moment of reckoning is where true respect begins. Because now, he has to decide, is he willing to put in the work to earn back what he once took for granted? But let me be clear, this isn't about games or manipulation. It's not about stepping away just to see if he will chase you. No, this is about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your presence is valuable, that your love is a gift, that your time and energy are not infinite resources to be wasted on someone who fails to see their worth. When a man truly values you, when he understands you're not something he can afford to lose, he will treat you accordingly. He won't wait for you to walk away before he shows up for you. He won't need your absence to remind him of your presence. If he does, if it takes your silence for him to hear you, your absence for him to see you, then make sure when he comes back, he brings more than just regret. He must return with changed behavior, with actions that prove he's learned the lesson. Because missing you is not enough. Wanting you is not enough. If he truly respects you, if he truly understands what he almost lost, he won't just say it, he will show it. So don't be afraid to walk away when your presence is no longer valued. Don't hesitate to set boundaries that demand respect. The man who truly sees your worth won't wait until you leave to realize it. He will cherish you while you're there, not only when you're gone. A man can only understand the weight of something when he has to carry its absence. When a woman is always present, always available, always showing up, it's easy for him to believe that's simply how things are supposed to be. But the moment she pulls away, stops calling, stops reaching out, stops filling in the spaces he didn't even realize were empty, reality hits him like a crashing wave. See, men don't process emotions the way women do. A woman feels the shift immediately, the moment she senses neglect. The moment she realizes she's giving more than she's receiving. Continuing smoothly from where we left off, let's explore the powerful shift that happens when a woman's silence takes over and how it changes everything in a man's world. Something deep within a woman's spirit knows exactly when she's being taken for granted. She feels it, a quiet, undeniable truth. But a man? Often, he doesn't realize what's happening in real time. He moves through his days assuming she will always be there, that she will always care, always reach out, always be the steady presence by his side. Until one day, she simply isn't. And that's when everything changes. Because silence is powerful. A woman's silence speaks volumes in ways her words never could. He may have ignored her concerns before, brushed aside her feelings, or dismissed her needs altogether. He might have mistaken her patience for weakness, thinking she would always extend grace no matter what. But when that patience runs out, when she no longer argues, no longer explains, no longer fights to keep the connection alive, her silence will say everything that words cannot. In that quiet space, a man begins to notice the little things he once overlooked. He feels the absence of her check-ins, the missing warmth of her presence, the empty space where her encouragement used to live. He wakes up in the morning and realizes his phone isn't lighting up with her messages. Throughout the day, the weight of her absence presses on him, in the smallest, most unexpected ways. He remembers how she used to remind him of important things, how she made life feel a little easier, a little lighter, a little fuller. Suddenly, what once felt like a given now feels uncertain, fragile even. But here's the truth. Some men will only ever understand your absence. They will miss you, yes, but they won't fight for you. They will feel the loss but refuse to change their ways. That's why a woman must always pay attention, not just to a man's regret, but to how he responds to it. Because missing you is not the same as valuing you. Feeling your absence is not the same as stepping up to honor your presence. Absence is the ultimate test. It's the moment when a man has to make a choice. Does he let the silence stay? Or does he break it? Does he sit in the loss? Or does he put in the work to fix what led to it? A man who truly values you, a man who genuinely understands what he had, will not just miss you, he will move. He will show up differently. He will communicate differently. He will make a real effort, not just to get you back, but to keep you. But let me warn you, if a man can sit comfortably in your absence, if he can go days, weeks, even months without reaching out, without acknowledging the shift, without trying to reconnect, then that is your answer. A man who truly values you will never let silence be the last word. He won't risk losing something he knows is rare. He won't wait until it's too late to make things right. So, if you ever find yourself in a place where your absence goes unnoticed, where your silence is met only by more silence, where the space you left remains unfilled, don't go back to remind him of what he lost. Because if he needed reminding, then he never truly saw you in the first place. A woman who knows her worth will never beg for a man to recognize it. A man will never truly understand the value of peace until he loses the woman who brought it into his life. See, some men are so used to chaos, so familiar with inconsistency, that when they meet a woman who brings stability, they don't recognize it as rare. They mistake her patience for passivity, her understanding for obligation. They assume the way she loves, nurtures, and cares is just who she is, not the conscious choice she makes every single day. But the moment she removes that peace, the moment she stops filling in the gaps, the moment she steps away, that's when he realizes what he had. Because peace isn't loud, peace doesn't demand attention, peace is something you feel. It quietly moves through your life, making everything else just a little bit lighter. And when a man has never experienced true peace before, he doesn't always recognize it while it's there. He might take it for granted, assuming the steady love, the constant understanding, the unwavering presence will always be there. But the second she walks away, the second that peace is gone, everything changes. Suddenly, his world feels unsteady. The little things he once overlooked become heavy burdens. The calm she brought, the way she made things easier, the reassurance just her presence offered, all gone. Now, he has to sit with the absence of something he never even knew he needed. That's the thing about peace. You don't always realize how much it matters until it's missing. A woman's peace is a sanctuary. It's a place where a man can rest, exhale, and feel seen without having to perform or prove himself. But when a man doesn't protect that peace, when he doesn't value it, when he assumes it will always be there no matter how he shows up, he risks losing the very thing that made his life feel whole. And when it's gone, he will feel it in ways he never expected. See, absence doesn't just create longing, it creates clarity. When a woman steps back, when she stops giving, when she stops showing up as she always has, a man is forced to reflect. He has to ask himself, why does everything feel heavier? Why does my life feel different? And as the days pass, as the silence stretches longer, as the absence settles in, he realizes it wasn't just her presence that mattered. It was the peace. Continuing naturally from the previous part, let's explore the truth about peace and how a man's response reveals his readiness to truly love. She brought peace, a calm that quietly settled in his life, making everything feel just a little lighter. But here's the hard reality. Not every man knows how to honor that peace. Some will feel the loss of it. Yes, they will miss the feeling of being cared for, the comfort she gave. Yet, feeling isn't enough. They won't step up to give care in return. They will crave the calmness she offered, but they won't do the work necessary to earn it back. This is exactly where a woman must be discerning. A man who truly understands what he lost won't just want to get it back. He will be willing to do whatever it takes to keep it. A woman's peace is a precious gift. It is not something to be taken lightly or treated as a game. It is not something to be assumed or taken for granted. And the moment she realizes a man doesn't know how to protect that peace, she must be prepared to protect it herself. Because a man who truly values her will never put her in a position where she has to choose between loving him and keeping her own peace intact. So if your absence does not wake him up, if your silence does not make him reflect, if your stepping back does not inspire him to step forward, then you have your answer. A man who is truly ready for love will not wait until you leave to recognize your value. He will cherish it while you are still there. A man who truly sees your worth will not risk losing something rare by waiting until it's too late to acknowledge it. But some men only learn these lessons when they are forced to. Some men don't realize what they had until they reach for it and find nothing there. Until the calls stop, until the messages go unanswered, until the space they once filled carelessly with indifference is now filled with silence. And suddenly, they understand. Suddenly, they feel the weight of what they ignored, what they dismissed, what they assumed would always be there. See, a woman's presence is like oxygen, necessary, yet unnoticed until it's gone. A man breathes it in every day, assuming it will always be there, assuming it requires nothing from him to sustain. But the moment she steps away, the moment she stops pouring, the moment she stops giving, he struggles. And it's in that struggle that the truth is revealed. Because some men, when they feel that absence, will do whatever it takes to fix what they broke. But others will only mourn the loss, never once considering what they could have done differently. That's why a woman must never measure a man's love by his regret. Regret is not love. A man can miss you and still not be ready for you. He can long for what you brought into his life and still refuse to give you what you truly deserve. Because missing you is passive. It's an emotion. But fighting for you, that's action. That's a choice. And that's the difference between a man who only realizes your worth once you're gone and a man who values you enough never to let you feel like leaving was your only option. A man who is truly ready for love, truly ready for you, will not wait for your absence to teach him what your presence should have. He will not make you prove your worth through your silence. He will not let distance grow just to test if he cares. No, a man who understands what he has will protect it. He will nurture it. He will show up for it before it ever has the chance to slip away. But a man who only learns through loss, that man is not ready to love. He still believes love is about ownership instead of partnership. He assumes presence guarantees permanence. He believes that just because something is good, it will always be there. And a woman who knows her worth cannot afford to waste time proving it to a man who refuses to see it. That's why a woman must always watch what a man does after she walks away. If his response is silence, if his response is more of the same, if his response is nothing but regret without change, then that's all she needs to know. Because a man who truly values her will never let regret be his final answer. He will let his actions speak, not just his emotions. He will let his growth prove his love, not just his longing. And that is the difference between a man who is truly meant for you and a man who is only meant to teach you a lesson. The man who is meant for you will not wait until you leave to appreciate you. He will make sure that staying with him never feels like a mistake.